done, Lauren. That's gorgeous. It's really a scene and a duet, but it's mostly her in the beginning because she has the upper hand here, and she uses it with incredible aplomb. Tell me a little bit about your education. Where are you?
I just completed the first year of my master's at Florida State.
At Florida State. Who do you study with?
Shirley Close.
Shirley. Oh, right. Oh my goodness. Say hi to her. You sound absolutely beautiful, and this is the perfect piece for you. So let's work a little bit on, and you're young, so I don't want you, I wanted to know your age-ish because I wanted to know how much I should try to talk about your middle voice, but I actually am going to leave it alone because it's perfect, it's age-appropriate how you're singing, it's gorgeous. So, but let's talk about, if you're going to sing this in an audition, you really need to give it more than just standing there and singing it like it's a vocalese in a way, okay? Even if it's heartfelt, you have to create the scene for us. So I would actually, because in the beginning of the scene, she's pretty cool. He has no idea if she's gonna take him back, because they've had this huge love scene, the most beautiful thing. They've seen everything together. They're live. He proposes to her. It couldn't be more romantic, and she is so happy. And suddenly, he's decided that she's unfaithful. And so he has no idea. And then he finds out he's wrong. She doesn't know if he's going to forgive. He doesn't know if she's going to forgive him. So I would start. First of all, you have to decide where he is. You know, as you're singing to him, he's usually off in a corner, moping. So, but for the purposes of having an audience, you might put him, sitting over in that on top of that speaker. But you always have to do this, even in an audition, as you imagine who you're singing to and where they are, and where's the rest of it, because you have all of these different sections. Because you have, you're talking to him, but you're really not talking to him at first, right? Because you're not going to let him see what your hand is. You might not even know yet. In many productions, she's figuring it out for herself, right? So you're sort of, das war sehr gut, Mandryka. It has to be very cool in the beginning. You have this whole, also this, something from Oben told me, that the God told me that I could be gracious. So you have to kind of create the scene for us. So let's start again. So, and you step forward and you stayed there. I would stay back. I would stay back and hold your hand. You have plenty of time to go towards him, to sing some things to him, and I wouldn't put him on the ground because then you're going to sing down, but I would put him at eye level so you can sing to him, and you can also sing for yourself. And you don't even have to take a step. You can do all of this for us within a small radius. So start again, and let's try and create the scene. No, just exactly, just a couple bars. Now wait, let the orchestra die out, then come in. Thing. You look incredibly sad, and I think at this point you can be a little bit cooler about the whole thing. It's a good thing you didn't leave. I was going to drink this glass by myself, but in the end she shares it with him and remembers what. Can you tell them what the glass means?
Yeah, it's a symbol of when they become engaged. It's a symbol of her virtue.
Well, because in the countryside where he was, and he's sort of a country guy, the glass would have been broken as a sign of their betrothal. So I would just be a little bit more like, okay, I'm here. Let's just see what happens. If you play your cards right, you'll get me back.
Okay.
You're giving too much away with all of this heartbreak. All right. Very good, very good. So I got a little bit more of the spirit of it that time. You didn't give so much away in the beginning. So when are you going to look at him? I mean, I don't expect you to have decided that. Let's figure out a point.
When she references the glass, do you think?
Yeah, that's maybe a good time. So that I was going to drink it myself, but let's find out musically. It's got to be a good point because he's going to have a heart attack when you look at him. And in fact, when you start singing, he's in shock. He usually whips around like, oh my God, she came back. So let's figure out when that would be. Das Glas da habe ich austrinken wollen, ganz allein. And this, now she's mad. Because I wanted to forget what a jerk you were, right? And maybe we'll have a better day. Maybe the day will come. So, but it has to be a strong musical point. So let's think. Let's see. Das Glas da habe ich austrinken wollen. Ganz allein, ching, ching, ching. You could even take a step towards him. Auf das Vergessen. Really let him have it here, right? Yeah. The grace comes later. At this point, you're saying, I was going to stay alone because I wanted to forget what you did, all right? Let's go from there. Now, you have a little tension here, so you want to be careful when you're trying to create some sound and you've got that O or A vowel that you try to keep this a little bit more relaxed. Das Glas da. Let's do it right from there. Yeah? Okay, so I would do it the other way where I would say, das Glas da habe ich austrinken wollen, ganz allein, ching, 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 auf das Vergessen. Okay. I would do it there. Yeah. Try one more time. When you have a sustained scene like this that people don't know, and your adjudicators, most of them won't know it either. I'm sorry to say, unless you've sung it. It's hard, or if you speak German, this is a complex scene. So you have to be very strong in your choices, or it's generic. Never generic. Let's try that again, das Glas da. The anger through the end of that. I would do it with the text. Von den Bösen, was gewesen ist. So really make it with the consonants, because the next phrase is soft. Because then I was going to go to bed, right? So I would keep that intensity and do it with the text. Auf das Vergessen, von den Bösen. Let's go back. Ganz allein, ching, ching, ching. Let's do it that. Yeah.
Auf das Vergessen von den Bösen, was gewesen ist, und still zu bleiben.
Okay, so very good, but make that an on purpose turning away. Was gewesen ist. Keep that. I think you have this was always hard to learn rhythmically. I feel your pain. Because you've got vergessen von den Bösen, was gewesen ist. And that can help you with the consonants. And then I would, so yes, we both know what you did. And then turn around. Und still zu Bett again, because you might still do that. You might just still take off, right? So make that a very clear turn away if you're going to do that. I thought that worked very well. Now the other thing I want to talk to you about your hands. So a lot of people, when we learn technique, we want to actually stay very relaxed, right? And so, but if you never use your hands in a scene, that's distracting to me. So you can imagine you have this glass in your hand. You have to do this whole scene holding a glass. So you can kind of imagine that, and just by putting your hands up sometimes. You know, you can imagine that glass. I was gonna go to bed. You don't have to kind of pretend you're holding it, but we want to see that you're in the scene and not just completely all the time in the same position. Okay? Can we do that one more time? Auf das vergessen? Yeah.
Auf das Vergessen von dem Bösen, was gewesen
Was gewesen
ist.
ist. Don't be afraid to open those vowels a little bit more. Was gewesen ist. Let's just do that end of that phrase. Yeah.
Was gewesen ist.
One more time. You're still softening too much. Was gewesen ist. Right to the end so that ST has power.
Okay.
It's too lyric. You've got tons of lyric singing coming up.
Was gewesen ist und still zu Bette gehen und nicht denken mehr an sie und mich.
Okay, so I'm going to take stop 1 second, because und still, I feel like you can still expand a little bit more here intercostally, so that really has a nice cushion to sit on, so it's not quite. I just feel like you can have a tiny bit more support. You're doing phenomenally well. This is Aspen, by the way. You're doing amazing. These are all Strauss is the king of long phrases for the soprano, and you're doing really well. Und still. So I loved you turning away there. That was really good. Then we see your pain. I was just going to go to bed by myself. So just try it from there. Und still zu Bette gehen. Now, and I want to see you really tank up. Und nicht, but really intercostally, so you have this cushion. Und nicht denken. So I want you to keep the sort of intensity in the sound as you go up.
Okay.
Try that.
From there.
Yeah. No, und still.
Und still zu Bette gehen und nicht denken mehr an sie und mich, bis wieder
Try one thing. Try making your opening smaller at the beginning of that, so that when you expand, you also expand in terms of resonance.
Okay.
Because you go right there and then just crescendo, but I want to hear more. Quality in the sound. So try opening bis wieder ha ha. You've got that nice vowel ha ha. Use that ha. Then put your nice cover on it, because you have beautiful high notes. But I feel like it can be still more intense.
Okay.
And let's go back to that first phrase. Und still zu Bette gehen. So take a deep breath for me. Okay, relax shoulders. One more time. That's it. Now, when you start singing, I don't want to see that collapse.
Okay.
You want to keep that, right? And I still think you can do more intercostally. Do I have straws? Did we find straws? Backstage. Yes. Okay, so these aren't my favorite. They're a little bit too small in diameter, but wow, yeah. Just inhale. You feel that? What can you describe it?
There's much more expansion this way.
Right. Okay, so this is the instantaneous teacher of how we support and how we take in an optimal breath. Because all the straw does is minimize your breath capacity. So you have to pull in air with more effort, and suddenly these muscles, you can really feel them working. Yeah? Okay, so that's where you want to be when you start singing. So one more time. Try that.
Und still zu Bette gehen.
And don't collapse.
Und nicht denken mehr an sie und mich.
Much better. That sounds more supported to me. Does it feel okay?
Yeah.
You're not pushing at all. It's great. Now try this next phrase. Again. And also you feel your back open up too. You can all try this by pretending you're inhaling through a smaller, just don't tell your friends I made you do this because it's sort of suspect. Just take a nice, sip. Do you feel that your back opens up? If you bend over slightly, you'll really get that sense of expansion. You want the rib cage to pull out. And yeah, so we all do low breath, and that's very important. You need to start there so you get a complete breath, but then add this as well. This intercostal, yeah. Now, go on to that last phrase. Bis wieder heller. Oh, with the piano, yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Big breath. One more time. I didn't see anything happen here. Okay. Say what? Can you see it on me?
Yes.
It's big. Try it. Okay, so that was really good. Now, allow as you get up there, you don't have to push, you need to use a lot of air. I'm just asking you to do a slightly different use of resonance. So, but that was beautiful. That was really, that had more core. It had a lot more core in it, so it's more powerful. But we don't want you pushing, ever. Never with air, always with resonance. Okay, and support. One more time. Just that phrase, bis wieder. Really wide. Good. Try that last phrase one more time with less air. Über uns. Just make a shape. Make a nice round shape up there. And at the very end, you want your biggest part at the end. And you're running out of breath, I think, because you're using too much air. Okay? Try that again. You need less air on the top. Just über uns. Excellent. So work, and also sing in the mirror a little bit. You don't want such an opening at the beginning of that pitch, because then you have nowhere to go. Über uns. Make sure your tongue doesn't go back, okay? Good. So you've just given it to him. He is completely dead, because he's like, she's never coming back, and now you have your chance to sort of say, but. At just that moment, when I was going to go and drink my little glass of water by myself, something spoke to me on high. So this has to be this way, for yourself, but also for the greater good, right? She does the right thing. Where are we? She forgives him. Dan aber. Who's my timer, by the way? So it's already, what time? 11:31. Oh, we're out of time. Okay.